beauties, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. So today I'm going to be doing the eyeshadow palette tag. I've seen several people on YouTube do it, people that I follow and I consider friends. So if you guys are interested to see my tag on this, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I do have the questions here on my phone, so if I'm looking down, that is what I'm looking at. So the first question says, show your newest palette. Well, I have 4. I've been doing some shopping, and I'll just go in the order that I received them. So the first one here is from Jouer, and this one's is called the Tan Lines palette. Just wait for my camera here to focus in on it. There we go. So I got suckered for this eyeshadow palette because the packaging, so this is definitely one of those, the packaging made me buy it. And then this is what the inside of her looks like. So it's a really pretty palette. I did pick this out already for my Shop My Stash, and I really did enjoy it. I would say it's a very friendly for beginners because it's the pigmentation is it's not there in the beginning, it's there as you use it, like building it up. I mean, it's a buildable palette, that's what I mean. So it's really soft when you first apply it, and then you can build the intensity of it. But really pretty palette. I did enjoy using it. The other palette that I purchased was from, I think it's called by Beauty Bay. So this is the Pastels palette, and that's what she looks like. There we go. So this is the Pastels palette, and that's what she looks like. Super cute, super pretty. And we go ahead and open her up. We have a bunch of colorful shades that are pastels. I did use this already as well, and I created a look. I'll leave an insert for you guys to see. But it was a really cute palette. It was really affordable. It was about $10. I don't remember exactly how much shipping was. I think it was a total about 15, but it did take a while for it to get here because it was shipping from out of the States, which I had no idea. But really cute palette. I actually did enjoy it. I did feel like I had to build it up quite a bit, but I had to remind myself that it is pastel, so it's going to be a little bit on the lighter side. The next eyeshadow palette that we have here is from Maybelline. This is the Nudes of New York eyeshadow palette, and that's what she looks like. I purchased this because Makeup by Marissa kept raving about it, and I was like, you know what, I need to try that eyeshadow palette because it looks so good and it's affordable, and Makeup by Marissa keeps saying that she loves this palette and I love her makeup. So I was like, okay, we need to buy this, and this definitely looks like a very pretty everyday eyeshadow palette, like a go-to eyeshadow palette, like you could create really good looks. The last eyeshadow palette that I bought is from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise, and that's what this looks like. You guys would see a video on this of me trying new makeup soon. I actually used this today and I just filmed it. That's insane that you'll see it soon, if not, if it's already up. But really pretty palette. I like the packaging of it, and I love the color story in it too. It's so pretty, so definitely had to pick it up. Okay, so the next one says, show your oldest palette. My oldest palette is from Lorac, and I do still have it. This is the Lorac Pro Matte eyeshadow palette, which is this one right here. It's a small little eyeshadow palette, and it comes with all matte shades. As you can see, I put some really good use into this palette. Most of the shades were hitting pan. This one you could see did hit pan. I haven't used this eyeshadow palette in a really long time, and I'm pretty sure that she's expired. This palette has to be about 4 years old, if not more. I just know I got this around the time where I was either pregnant with my daughter or I just had my daughter, so it's about 4 or 5 years old. I don't think I'll ever actually get rid of this palette because this was my first high-end eyeshadow palette. I did have another eyeshadow palette that I could have used. That was from Maybelline as well, but I don't have that eyeshadow palette anymore. I got rid of it. So really did enjoy this palette when it was my only one. Okay. So the next one says to show your most expensive palette. That's gonna have to be my Dose of Colors Friendcation palette from in collaboration with Desi and Katie. And that's what she looks like. The packaging is super pretty. This palette was $55. And if you guys open her up, she's really pretty, and as you can see, she is well loved. I do rotate my makeup, so not everything's gonna have a whole lot of usage. And as you guys have seen my collection video, I do have quite a bit, so a lot to go through. But yeah, this is the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I own thus far. I say this far because I can't stop shopping. So the next one says show your most affordable palette, which I'm going to be showing, and I'm pretty sure everyone else is the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palettes, which I have two right here. I have all of them. I have every single one of these, but I didn't want to pull all of them out, so I pulled out my two favorite ones, which is in the shade Truffles and in the shades Pumpkin Pie. So this one's Pumpkin Pie and this one's Truffles. These retail for $3 at any store, e.l.f. website, your drugstores, but really good little eyeshadows. I think they're perfect for traveling, perfect for everyday usage, so really good. I did really enjoy these, and they're only $3, so hey. Okay, number 5 says show your everyday eyeshadow palette. So that's kind of hard for me to show because I do rotate my makeup. But if I had the option to use a palette every single day, well, I mean, I do have the option, but what I mean is, like, if I could only keep one eyeshadow palette that I know I'll use for a fact every single day, it would have to be this one. This is the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 palette, and I like it because it has a lot of neutrals and it has like 3 pops of colors here, which I am obsessed with green and yellow at the moment, and this little strawberry shade here is amazing as well. So I would have to say that this would be my everyday eyeshadow palette, but currently my everyday eyeshadow palette is the Maybelline's New York, or Nudes of New York palette, because it is in my makeup drawer this week. So I do weekly shop my stash, and every week I pick out a new eyeshadow palette to use, and currently this is the one that I should be using, but since I was filming today I did use the other e.l.f. palette, but this is my everyday eyeshadow palette currently. So number 6 says show your most colorful palette. So for me, that's 2. The first one I'm going to show you is the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil. This was their original colored palette, and that's what she looks like. I got this because I wanted to make more colorful looks, and as you can see, I did put some good use into it, and my kiddos actually got into it too. My daughter did anyways. But that's this palette. Then the other one I would have to say, and you guessed it, would be the Morphe x James Charles palette. This one is a good mixture. I kept the sleeve for the names. Is a good mixture of neutral tones and colorful tones. So we have basically almost every color of the rainbow on here. But really pretty palette. It's a huge palette. So those would have to be my most colorful eyeshadow palettes. Okay, number 7 says show your smallest eyeshadow palette. Again, those would have to be my e.l.f. Bite Size. These are the smallest, as small as they come. I would have to say that after that would probably be my Lorac Pro palette, because as you can see, it is a lot smaller. But yeah, the e.l.f. Bite Size are probably the smallest eyeshadow palettes that I have. Show your biggest eyeshadow palette. So number 8 is show your biggest eyeshadow palette. I need to stop looking at the viewfinder, I'm sorry. But that would be my Morphe x James Charles, as you guys can see, and as we showed, this is the biggest eyeshadow palette that I have in my collection. I don't have any other eyeshadow palette that is bigger than this guy right here. So number 9 says show your palette with the best memory. So for me, I have two, and I had to think about this one to make sure like these were the ones with the best memory, but that would have to be my ABH Sultry palette and my ABH Norvina palette. Both of these palettes are really important to me because my husband surprised me with them. I had been wanting these eyeshadow palettes at the time, and I did not think that I was going to be able to get them because we were going through some stuff at that time, and he surprised me with them. So one day I came home, I walked into my beauty room, and both of these beauties were there. So these are really pretty eyeshadow palettes. I actually really do love Anastasia's formula. For me, they work out really well. I know for some people they don't typically like it, but this one's the Sultry palette, super pretty. So these are really special to me because my husband surprised me with these eyeshadow palettes, and he made my day. They were basically an early birthday present, even though it was like a month before. But I would say that that's the one that has the most sentimental. Okay, so number 10 says show a palette worth the hype. So for me, that would be the ABH and Jackie Aina eyeshadow palette. This palette is so pretty. I love the way it looks, and people were raving about it. And it's true what they said. The formula in this, I don't know if it's different than the other ones, but I would say it's slightly better. And I love the color story in this eyeshadow palette. It's just so pretty. As you can tell, I do have favorite shades because I have certain ones that I've dipped in more than the others, but every single pan in this palette has been touched. Even if it may not look like it, it has been. And I know because I use it. But yeah, I would definitely say, if anything, out of all the ABH palettes, this one was the one that was worth the hype. I know it was limited edition. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, you need to pick it up because it's amazing. So number 11 is show a palette not worth the hype. So I normally don't like to talk bad about makeup, and this isn't even bad either, but I'm gonna have to say that it's this one right here. It's another ABH palette, and this is the Amarizi palette. Really pretty packaging. I do like the eyeshadow palette, but I'm underwhelmed by it. So when I seen it online, I thought it was super pretty, but I wasn't gonna buy it. It was actually on my do not buy list. But it's so pretty. I was like, well, let me get it. So I ended up getting it. I did use my Ulta points to get it, so I didn't pay full price for this palette. But when I got it, I wasn't wowed by it. And I also, when I used it, I liked it, but I wasn't wowed by it. So definitely did not meet the expectation of like the wowness that they were putting around this eyeshadow palette. You know, a lot of people hyped it up and it was amazing, you have to get it, and now I'm just kind of like, it's okay. But I do like it, and I'm happy that it is my collection. I do have most of the ABH palettes, so I mean, I'm happy that I do have it, but I would say that this would be one that was not worth the hype. Okay, so number 12 is show your favorite palette from a favorite brand, which again would have to be the Latte palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I'm sorry, I know I have a bunch of repeats, but I love this eyeshadow palette. Like I said, this eyeshadow palette has everything that I want. It has my shimmers, it has my neutrals, it has my little pops of colors, it has everything that I need, and it looks like coffee. And I love it. And I do love Dominique Cosmetics formula. If you haven't tried the brand, I do recommend it. She does have several eyeshadow palettes. She has this one. She has the original Latte palette, which is just as good, if not better. If you like more just neutral shades, then you would probably prefer that one. It does have two pops of colors. They're a little bit more on the deeper tone, where these are a little bit more lighthearted. And I mean lighthearted as in they're lighter. So a little bit easier to wear than the other one, but this one's so pretty. I just love it. I love it. Okay, number 13, show your most used palette. which if we go by how it looks like in usage, that would have to be my Anastasia and Norvina palette. I never realized how much I actually reached for it, but the pans do not lie. As you can see, a lot of the shimmers have been dug into, and a lot of the mattes have been dug into, especially this one here, the pink one. Yeah, so if we were talking about what an eyeshadow palette looks like as far as the most usage, it would be this one here. So anyways, beauties, that's basically the end of this video. I hope you guys truly enjoyed my eyeshadow palette tag. I love watching these because everyone has so many different preferences. So if you guys did like this video, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do post 2 times a week, every Wednesday and Saturday. Every Wednesday is an additional beauty video just like this one, and every Saturday is a shop my stash. So if that is something that you are interested in, then go ahead and subscribe and join my beauty community here on YouTube. That's basically it. Until next time. Bye!